What is up guys, Ashbfc here bringing you my review of Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Oh yeah. So where should I start? How should I put this? What's the best way? Oh yeah, how about this game is awesome. Yeah, it really is. So Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, so basically it's a standalone expansion pack to Far Cry 3. So it's not technically DLC, because one, it's actually good, two, it's actually worth the money. Yeah. I have no love for DLC. Yeah, so all that means by standalone expansion is that it doesn't need Far Cry 3 to play it, which is epic win, if you ask me. I mean, how can you complain about that, right? So if you lost your copy of Far Cry 3, no need to worry. You know, you never bought Far Cry 3, don't worry. You traded it in, you sold it, fear not, or your grandma ate it. Don't worry, you don't need it. And we need more stuff like this, man. This is what it should be, not crappy DLC. Crap we should have already got in our game, not crappy map packs and pointless weapon skins, you know, that are overpriced and just an absolute piss take. We need this. So yeah, so it's called Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Well, it probably shouldn't have Far Cry 3 in the title. Obviously it does for marketing purposes to help it sell, because obviously Far Cry is an established franchise. But other than that, you know, it really couldn't have gone, you know, Ubisoft couldn't have gone a more opposite way to Far Cry 3, and it's awesome, because, you know, credit to Ubisoft for doing this, because, you know, something completely different, something that's a little bit genius if you ask me, because basically this game is an absolute blast of nostalgia, especially for those of the 80s, because basically the game has a whole, you know, 80s theme to it. It's got 80s written all over it. It's a retro-futuristic setting, you know, so like I said, it's a huge blast of nostalgia, especially for those from the 80s, and even me, even though I'm a 90s kid, and I was born in 89, but I grew up in the 90s, but you know, everything I used to watch was from the 80s. I love, you know, 80s films, all the action flicks, which is what this game is heavily influenced by, especially Terminator, all the 80s cartoons and music. Loved it. So it was a big blast of nostalgia for me as well. And you just can't fight nostalgia. It's a very powerful tool. Pretty genius move, if you ask me, by Ubisoft. Yeah, so it's got all these really nice little touches to it to give that 80s feel. Loading screens, basically. They look like a VHS tape. Those who use VHS tapes will know what I'm talking about. They basically say track instead of loading. They're all fuzzy and they jump like they used to back in the day. The entire soundtrack's basically synth music. Yeah, it's got a classic story of, you know, you play a human cyborg, like Terminator. You know, you've got to save the world. I mean, the world's been ruined by nuclear war. And there's bad guys up to no good. You've got to stop the bad guys, save the world, get the girl. You know the story, right? It's just awesome. And one of the absolute best things about this game is it does not take itself seriously whatsoever.
Frankly, anyone who thinks games are bad for you is a fucking idiot.
You know, it's purposely meant to be goofy and daft and ridiculous. That's the whole point of it. It's meant to be cheesy as hell. You know, it's got purposely bad written dialogue. The story's terrible. It's meant to be, and it's absolutely hilarious. You know, all these cheesy one-liners that are poorly delivered.
Sayonara, sushi! Yeah!
The cutscenes and the story is all told through these like 16-bit style sort of images, these cartoon-looking scenes that look like something you'd see on a Super Nintendo or a Sega Mega Drive, and they're absolutely ridiculous. They're hilarious. It's one of the best parts of the game are these cutscenes.
Yeah. Yes. Oh. Yes. Yes. No. Yes. No.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I could not stop laughing at some of these cutscenes. They were that bad. So as for the gameplay, absolutely brilliant. So like Far Cry 3, it's open world. You can do what you want, go at your own pace. You've got an island to explore like you did in Far Cry 3. But obviously it's not as big. It's only an expansion pack. There's nowhere near as much to do. You wouldn't really expect that. But yeah, it's open world. You can drive around, explore. You can drive around in boats in the oceans if you want. Do what you want. You don't have to go and do the story. You can just run around shooting things. And one of my absolute favourite things about this game is dinosaurs. Well, yeah, okay, blood dragons. That's why it's called Far Cry 3 Blood Dragons, because of these creatures. They're like dinosaurs. They're called blood dragons. And they roam the lands, and they're pretty intimidating looking things. You don't want to fuck with these guys, basically. They're all brightly lit neon colours. They change depending on their mood. If they're green, you don't need to worry. You know, they're placid, they're laid back. If they turn orange, you need to start worrying. If they turn red, shit yourself, basically. Yeah, we just ain't getting enough dinosaurs in games nowadays. I mean, for Christ's sake, we've got a new zombie game coming out every week. I am sick of friggin' zombies. I demand more dinosaurs. But yeah, I love these things. I mean, for Christ's sake, they fire laser beams out of their mouth. So, enough said there, you know? They fire laser beams out of their mouth. Yeah, like I said, you need some heavy firepower if you want to take these guys on. and you will have to take some of these guys on at some parts in the game. So you've got plenty to do besides just trying to kill dinosaurs and run from dinosaurs. You've got garrisons to liberate like you did in Far Cry 3, but they're like, you know, because it's retro-futuristic, they're like these sort of cyber station sort of thing, I don't know what you'd really call them, but these pretty big fortress areas that you can go and liberate. I think there's 13 overall. And you can choose which way you want to do it. You can go through the front door, guns blazing, shoot everything inside. Obviously, you know, it's going to be a lot crazier that way. They're going to call for reinforcements, helicopters may come flying in. You can have a bit of war on your hands, or you can do the stealthy approach. You can sneak in the back, use your bow and arrow maybe, take guys out, use stealth kills, like you could in Far Cry 3, like, you know, knife attacks to the back, pull guys down from ledges, jump on guys who are below and kill them, you know, take the stealthy route. Those are a ton of fun, and when you do liberate those, they unlock a couple of side missions per garrison, which you've got hunting missions and hostage missions. The hostage missions obviously pretty self-explanatory. You've got to go save the hostage, which is always a scientist nerd. Basically they'll be surrounded by enemies and you've got to go in and kill the enemies before they kill the hostage. They can be a little bit tricky. And you've got the hunting missions, which will either pit you against taking on certain animals, although not just any old animals, kind of mutated animals, and kill them with a certain weapon, or like a certain soldier, kill them with a certain weapon. Like, you might be have to take on a cyber shark, cyber mutated shark, kill it with an explosive, or take down a sniper with an arrow to the head or something like that. All these different variations. Quite a lot of them keep going. Now there is a particular hunting mission where you have to kill some turtles in a sewer. Heroes in a half shell. Took me a little while to get that reference, but then suddenly it dawned on me, and I was like, oh my god. And I'm sure there's a lot of other references I've missed, but come on, that's awesome. Ninja Turtles. Hells yeah. Best cartoon ever. And one of the cool things is that there is a leveling system. You level up as you go. You've got 30 levels to level up to, and you know, you get points by doing missions, doing side missions, you know, killing enemies in certain ways like headshots or stealth kills and what have you, and you unlock new things every time you level up. You know, you'll unlock things like the ability to move faster when you're crouched, quicker shooting times with a bow, all this awesome stuff. And you know, you've got plenty of collectibles as well to pick up. You've got TV sets and VHS tapes, which I thought was funny, as well as I think some hidden journals and stuff. Quite a lot to grab, and they're definitely well worth grabbing because they help level up as well. And Rex does make a couple of references to Assassin's Creed when you're collecting them, which I thought was funny. I think he says along the lines of, I hope I don't have to collect any fucking feathers, and I hope I don't have to collect any fucking flags. If you don't know, those were collectibles in Assassin's Creed, obviously Ubisoft. Yeah, and of course then you've got the main missions, and there isn't very many of them, but they are funny. That's where all the story comes in. Those are the funniest parts, and they are a ton of fun. And they're quite lengthy as well. But like I said, it doesn't matter because you've got a lot of stuff to do, and it is open world, so you can kind of do what you want. So you definitely get your money's worth out of this game. It's absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely a ton of fun. Like I said, there's quite a lot to do. The story's absolutely hilarious. It's got a huge blast of nostalgia. It's just absolute ton of fun and well worth the money. And like I said, you've got dinosaurs that shoot lasers out of their mouth. Okay, blood dragons, whatever. But yeah, it's absolutely awesome, and I love Ubisoft for doing this. This was such a good move. This is awesome. This is the sort of thing the first-person shooter genre needs. And this is what we need, and you know, this is what downloadable stuff should be. These sort of amazing expansion packs and things. You know, it is only single player. It doesn't need multiplayer. It's not what it's about. It doesn't need it. It's still absolutely awesome. And you know, and I would love to see another expansion pack like this, a continuation of the Blood Dragon. Better yet, I would like to see Blood Dragon become a completely separate IP. And be a brand new series. A fully fledged Blood Dragon game would be unbelievable. It's probably not going to happen. I think this was just a little sort of an experimental, sort of just to mess around, just a bit of a laugh, just something different, a one-off from Ubisoft. But we can always dream, right? But yeah, this is absolutely awesome. And I know it will go over a lot of people's heads, this game, what it's all about, you know, how it doesn't take itself seriously, particularly with the younger generation. But they ain't supposed to be playing anyway, so. But yeah, but there'll be a lot of people I'm sure will really appreciate this game. And like I said, it's absolutely brilliant. It's well worth the money. I mean, it's only, I think it's $11.99 on Steam for the PC version, which is dirt cheap. And you know, I'm sure it's still cheap, whatever currency it converts into, whatever you use. And same with the 360 version and PS3. It's definitely well worth the money. You cannot go wrong with this expansion pack. And like I said, it's standalone, so you don't need Far Cry 3. It's an absolute blast. Just a brilliant expansion pack, brilliant game, and just a brilliant move by Ubisoft doing something like this. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Go friggin' buy it if you haven't already. If you have, well done. So, yeah. Yes, that's just a quick review on Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Absolutely brilliant. You gotta go buy it. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys, and I shall see you next time. Whenever that may be. Oh, I've got pins and needles.